Hi, good morning. Dr. Bob Flower in your master pattern report for July 9th, one day before my daughter Bobby Ann's birthday. Uh, okay, so what do we got going on? Well, we had a nice hit on the silver. We had mentioned that July 6th we were looking for a move, and it actually hit on July 7th, which is within our framework. It's down almost 4% on that one day. Um, and the trend definitely is downward. Uh, with the dollar being as strong as it is, we're not going to see any significant moves in gold or silver. I mean, we might see spikes, but nothing that's going to buoy the metal markets. Not yet, not yet. But keep your powder dry because it's coming. Okay, so what do we got going on? What do we see for next week and beyond? Well, the 17th and the 29th, we see some good moves in silver coming, especially the 17th. That should be a fairly good move. And of course, if it's following the direction, we expect to see it. We expect to see a down move at that time. 723 the S&P, we see a good move in the S&P um, at that time. And then on the 15th, we're looking at something going on with gold. So and gold is beginning to stir a little bit. It's very unusual that silver and gold are moving um, in a non-coordinated fashion, but that's the nature of the market. A lot of these brokerage houses, a few of the brokerage houses, are buying up these commodities and selling them wholesale um, to directly to the public. So might be a good move. You might want to you may want to get in on the actual ownership of gold or silver. Okay. Um, and we saw. I think you're going to see a bounce in oil. We saw oil take a hit too, as we had mentioned to you. I think it was from Friday, and we think that you're going to see a further hit here, but it'll bounce. It'll bounce up here and then move back down over the next 3 weeks before the end of July. All right, now let's talk a little about Greece. The deal there is that the creditors are pushing the euro market into into uh, renegotiating a deal with Greece, and Greece is not open to any sort of repayment plan that's going to require that their population work. That's not in the game plan. And what does this mean to us? They you hear people say, well, it's a small amount of the GDP of the euro. It doesn't mean anything to Americans. Well, it does. It certainly does. It has to do with the attitude and concept of debtor and creditor relationships. If Greece gets away with this, and they're going to get away with it, because and the reason first off, the reason they're going to get away with it is because of the nature of the culture. They're not, they don't work under pressure. They believe in living the good life without working for it. Almost a socialist society. Um, so even if they do make a deal with the European creditors, they're not going to stick to it. So we're going to be right back where we are again in those 6 or 8 months or 9 months or something of that sort. And that's going to foster the same type of thinking with countries like Spain and Portugal and conceivably even Italy. Because of the obligations that they have are extremely high. So hence there goes the neighborhood. There goes common market, the European common market, coming down the road here. And when it gets to be contagious in that respect, it gets to be a major problem for your powers, okay? And given the fact that there's no leadership coming from the United States, which is supposedly the wealthiest nation in the world, it's throwing more concern and fear, and it's making allies out of people that ordinarily wouldn't be allies here. Now, you see Putin is all of a sudden making a very clever move here. I mean, I really got to give the guy credit. He's backing off of the Ukraine. And what he's doing in place of that is he's looking to help Greece and China. Now, this is going to put him in, if he can pull this off, this is going to put him and Russia in the forefront of leadership. I mean, this is something that will really turn Russia around and set America on its ass. Okay, so that's what we're up against. That's what we're looking at here. Now, insofar as our old question of law and order, I don't know whether it's snowing or raining on me, but there are stronger and stronger signs that our original foremost concept of a breakdown in society of law and order is becoming more and more blatant, not only from the president and his administration, but from the Congress, House of Representatives, and the Senate. Suck. We're being snowed. We're being rained on. We're being peed on. Whatever you want to call it. I mean, get your umbrellas, folks, because it really is getting very deep in here. Okay, and what we need to do is throw the bums out. I mean, we just have to get together and speak as one voice. I don't care whether you're Democrat or Republican, conservative or liberal, because it's the same thing. It's just a divide and conquer. The masters will make the slaves, whether you're a Democrat or Republican, you're going to be a slave, the answer to them instead of them answering to us. And there is so much fear in the world and confusion and doubt that people can't keep it together. I mean, there are more killings and robberies and murders and things going on in this country than there ever have been, especially in your larger cities. Okay. So make your voice heard. Come on, it's believe me, every time a small group of citizens speak up with one voice, it makes a difference. These people, this is what they fear. They fear two things. People coming together and having one voice about an issue, which in this case should be the nature of politics in this country, and guns. And they have a right to be fearful of both. I mean, the way they're going, this is anarchy. This borders on treason, what they're doing to us. Okay? So try and look at things objectively, because that's a clear day. That's a clear vision of things, rather than looking at it as I advocate this or I advocate that. Let's get away from that. Let's get away from the overabundance of political correctness. And I want to talk about the Trump issue and some other issues similar to that in politics next week. Keep your powder dry and get these guys out. Have a good weekend. Enjoy.